Hey all, this is Mike from South Spring Disc Golf. I'd like to welcome you to our new thing for this year, which is our South Spring vlog. It's going to happen on a monthly basis, hopefully around the first of each month. And we're going to talk about things like updates to the course, any tournaments that may be going on, and generally things that people that play the course would care about. I thought I'd start with a kind of update or look back on all the things that have taken place this past year. First off, you may see many of the new retaining walls that we have around, from hole number 1 to hole number 4 and 5 and 7, and just all over the place. We have a lot of retaining walls. Overall, we have about close to 60 retaining walls out here, and over the past year, we've managed to replace 22 of those. So we've made some good headway in the past year. And I just ordered about a couple hundred more timbers, and we are ready to get at it this next year. So we'll be reaching out to people for help maybe on those. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, if you haven't been out recently, you'll know, you need to know that hole number 11 has changed. There's some significant changes over there. We'll take a look at that in a little bit. Let's see, next thing, we had a big storm come through in September and just really tore up the course. A lot of branches down, some trees have been knocked down, and we back in November, we had a big burn day out here, and we had about 20 people out here helping out and did, I think, 7 or 8 bonfires that were huge. They were, you know, at their peak, probably 15 to 20 feet tall, and we went through a lot of stuff. But after a whole day of work out here, probably close to 200 man hours, we only got through 3.5 holes. So there's still so much work to do. So we're going to be starting that up here in the new year, and hopefully we can get a lot of help on those days, and we can, as they say, many hands make light work. So it's easy work, and usually we provide some food, and it's just a good time to meet up with some of the other people that you play with out here or see out here on the course. So next I'd like to talk about hole number 3 here. And number 1, you can see that we have new benches. This is a prototype. There's 2 of them on this hole, but they're super easy to build. I have lumber for more, and the plan is to put somewhere between 12 and 18 spread throughout the course at places where it makes sense, and just give people a chance to chill out on some of those really hot days and take a break and maybe drink some cold liquid or something. So anyways, the other thing I wanted to talk about on this hole is just some of the challenges. Just get your wheels turning a little bit, give you a chance to maybe give some feedback on how we could maybe make this hole better. As you know, over here is a low area, and when we get rain, which we haven't had much of really in the last 6 months, it can flood here, and it makes for a really pretty kind of water hazard. And we have OB stakes that go around it for when there isn't water there, or like in the summer, we try not to have water because it makes this a big mosquito hole, and no one wants to be eaten when they come out here. So looking for options. A couple are, we've thought about bringing in sand, and filling that up, making more of a sand trap, and then when it gets wet, it would still be just fine. Thought of doing the same thing with rocks, maybe getting a bunch of rocks delivered over on the other side of the creek, and then every time someone comes through to play a hole or play the course, they can pick up a couple of those rocks, carry them across, and throw them in here. It would be kind of fun to see it grow over time and get a little bit of ownership in the course by the people that play it so frequently out here. Another option that we're looking at is where the basket is up there, actually make it go dog leg kind of off like that, and put a basket maybe another 200 feet up, would be back behind gold number 4, I guess northwest of gold number 4, and make it a par 4. Could be kind of an interesting hole, but I kind of like the easiness of this one, so love to get your feedback on that. Speaking of OB, I'd love to talk about a couple things that people have been doing out here that we hope they would stop. First off, we have OB stakes around the area here, and for some reason, some people think it's fun to go stomp those down and bury them into the ground. And all that does is it negatively impact the game and the course for people who want to play the OB. So if you don't want to play OB, just don't play OB. You don't have to go and stomp down stakes or pull them out and throw them into the woods or something like that and ruin other people's fun. On that note, the other thing people have been doing has been climbing like saplings. You know, some of the smaller trees. I don't really see any here where they've been doing it yet, but people are climbing these trees that are about 2 or 3 inches until they bend over. And once you bend over a tree like that, the outside layer pretty much is stuck like that. It will never go back. It gets stretched, or the cambium layer breaks on that tree. And then depending on how they bend it going across the course, I have to go cut it down, and that's one less tree to grow and keep this course challenging and great. So it'd be great if people didn't do that. Third thing is, please make sure you pick up your garbage. Don't just throw it out on the course. Beer cans are a perpetual problem here, where people just take their Michelob Ultra, you know who you are, and they just throw it out into the course rather than carry it to the next hole and put it in a garbage can. There's a garbage can on every other hole, plus a big one right at the entry and a dumpster at the far end of the property. Finally, some people, it's an awful trend in disc golf, is writing on the basket with your Sharpie when you get an ace or something like that. That is not something we do at South Spring, and I know other courses, maybe they think that's a good idea. That's what Instagram is for, Facebook is for. If you want to let people know that you did something spectacular, go take your picture of yourself by the basket and do this or whatever, and post it out there, and you get much more appreciation for it than posting it, than writing it on the band itself. So from here, we're going to go run over to hole number 11 and take a look at the changes out there, and then we're going to wrap the video up. I've made it up to hole number 10, and we're going to talk about the changes to hole number 11, but that really starts right here with the navigation to how the holes have been changed. So if I spin around here, there's the basket. If I spin around here, you can see I have a sign on the path that people usually take down to red and white, and some new navigation signs have been put in. The biggest thing to know is red, the old red box is now gone, and red moves to white, white moves to blue. There's a brand new blue and there's a brand new gold. So let's go look at them quick. I'm going to spin the camera around here and we'll take a look at the path down. Okay, this is the path that people used to take down to white and red, and it was really never intended as the way people would go, but that's okay. And now this is just the path to red. If you go to white this way, it is not going to be a good journey for you. So follow the signs. But if you look over here, that is where red used to be. And now you can see that red is up here where white used to be. And there's fantastic new retaining wall like I've talked about right here. Still the same old shot though from up here. And we'll spin around here and look off in the distance. I'll zoom out, and you can see up there by that big tree, that is where gold used to be. And you can see way high up on the hill, that is where the new gold is. And you can hardly see it up there, but that up there is where blue used to be, and that is now white. But we'll go walk over there in a second. Okay, we are back up at number 10, and we can see that white, gold, and blue are off this way. Kind of the old traditional path to get down to the, especially the gold and the blue. And we come here, and we have the same sign and some more navigation. And you can still get to red, just go down that way. As far as white, it's the path that you used to take to get to blue. And blue is just past white. But we're going to go look at gold quick, and then we'll work our way down back to the old gold and work our way across from there. So if you're going to gold, You just walk up this path, which is kind of below the red 10 fairway. And right over here is blue number 10, and right next to it is gold 11. And this one turned out much better than I thought it would. You can see, let's see if I can go way off in the distance here. You see the basket way out there. And made this change just because we needed gold to be a gold level hole. And while it seems like a really long way, the big arm people that are usually playing gold, they could almost reach this with a mid-range. So as we go down from here, this is, by the way, this is about probably another 20 to 30 feet higher than the old box. So it's really a pretty hole. Okay, this is now white, used to be blue, number 11. Same hole, pretty box. And if we go over to the left here, behind that stack of lumber is 18 blue, but there's a little path that goes around, and as usual we have our octagon signage out here that tells you right where you need to go. And right out here is the new 11 blue. It's a pretty cool site, or a pretty cool hole, I think. Super tight, going down the same hill as white. It's just another 30 feet longer, but it's tight. And about where Noli is there's a double Mando. And the reason for that is right over there is the gold box for, and the blue box for that matter, for hole number 15. And there are some routes that you could take kind of up through the woods up there. But there's a risk of hitting the people that are playing those holes. So we really want people to try and go down the middle. And double Mando there. So if you miss the Mando, you gotta come back, play between those. And still kind of a sketchy shot even from there with the creek right behind it. So that is what's going on with hole number 11. Okay, and right next to blue 11 and blue 18 is gold 18. And gold 18 is one of those holes that has always been a difficult hole. It's really hard to throw. For a backhand righty, it takes a really good, accurate flex shot that you're kind of curving around. If we look at the sign here, you're throwing from here, kind of flexing around, and then have it hook up back. For lefty, it is almost impossible to get it there, which is just not great for a hole number 18. You want to give those lefties a chance to get that birdie on hole number 18. So I'm looking for options for that. If anyone has ideas, maybe we create a tee box up there someplace and cut a new fairway in that lefties and righties would have kind of even shot at the basket. That would be good. Also thought about cutting a hole up there so the lefties could actually throw a straight up backhand through it. It would be tight. The only problem is that's right over the path where people walk on their way up to 11 blue and white, and 11 gold would be just beyond it. If someone kind of got a hold of it and it went straight, they could be throwing right at that basket. So if you have ideas on this hole, let me know. Okay, hole number 18 seems like a good place to wrap up today. Just want to mention a few things. First off is the club that regularly plays out here and at the Rock is on during daylight savings time. It's called Monday Night Flights, and they play usually Mondays at 5:30. Try and get there early to register, things like that. It's free to play. You get points that you can redeem for merchandise if you play well. There's pretty much all skill levels out there, from total novice, people that have never played before, all the way up to pros. So it's a really good time. And then in the off season, during non-daylight savings time, they play Glow Golf 3 weeks out of the month. They're out at the Rock at 6 o'clock. And then that fourth week, ideally when it's really close to a full moon, we play out here at South Spring so we can get a little bit more light onto the course and see the trees a little bit better. It seems like it would be absolutely awful, but it's actually really fun, and you'd be surprised how well you play when you play in the dark. It kind of sharpens your senses, and people tend to play pretty well. So we have that going on. We're talking about doing some tournaments coming, maybe even on a monthly basis out here, where they'd be free or really cheap to play. And we also, one other thing, that one of our goals for this year is to try and build a sense of community out here. We have so many people play this course on a weekly basis, and we'd love to get people connected to each other, so you can find rounds and a little bit of socializing, things like that. A couple things to make that happen. One of them is maybe a tag challenge. We're thinking about that. Obviously, we talked about tournaments, and some other maybe get-togethers on a regular basis. Another one is maybe people out here working on the course, that if you're one of those that likes to help contribute, make the course better, it would be a great way to get connected in. So, and one way we can help facilitate that is via some sort of a forum system. So we're looking at using GroupMe as our platform, because it works on Mac and PC as well as iPhone and Android, and the latest version has places where you can have more of a forum type discussion, which I think will be great for us, where we can have dedicated forums to talk about the course, talk about maybe how to play the game for beginners. There'll be a lost and found section, maybe a section out there for discussing the Pro Tour. It's always a hot topic of discussion, and it'll also be a great place to maybe arrange rounds. If you're looking for a round on a Saturday like today when it's beautiful out and you have no idea who's playing, you could just post something out there. People would be notified, and you can get connected up and have a nice round of golf together out here at South Spring. So that will be coming probably mid to late January. So I think that's probably about it for today. I hope this has been valuable. If not, let me know how I can make it better. And until next time, we hope that you get in some rounds out here at South Spring. Thanks.